Good evening, everyone. Hello, how are you doing? Have you drank your water today? Do you feel refreshed? Is there anything that you need? You got a prayer request? You can drop that in the chat. You know where you're at. Come on now. It's Be Healed. Be Healed web show is Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every week. And I'm your host, Camille R. Perry, and I'm so happy that you're here. So if you're watching via YouTube, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and then take a gander, perusal through a few other episodes, okay? If you're watching on Facebook, please share this, comment, get interactive, whether on Facebook or YouTube, get interactive. This is also played on Twitch, but still working on figuring out how to work that thing. But if you're watching on Twitch, I say hello to you and so happy that you're here. All right. So, we've been talking to the younger folks, the younger generation. I believe they consider these Generation Zs, I believe. They're Generation Z folks. And we've been talking, trying to hear from them because we want them to know that they have a seat at the table. Their voices matter. And I could not even think about bringing this series, this moment to any type of close without hearing from a gentleman. We've heard from beautiful young ladies, Naima and Imani Harvey Bowen. We've heard from Michaela Jones, the CEO in Mobile. We heard from Miss Chase Sullivan on last week. It's like, okay, let's hear from the fellas because these young men, I know they got a lot that they can contribute. And I'm so honored, so blessed to have Mr. Darius Pettis with us on today, all the way from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I'm so glad that we can do technology any and everywhere. Let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Pettis. All right, he is 19 years old, and he is the son of Pastor Cedric and April Pettis down there in Oklahoma City. He's also the second born of that beautiful union. And when I tell you he is an amazing young man, he is a podcaster, he's a phenomenal student. He has taught himself Mandarin. Yes, he studied Mandarin and he's even working at a Chinese restaurant so he can become more conversational in Mandarin. I mean, this young man is preparing to be that world traveler. Not only that, he goes to Southern Nazarene University in Bethany, Oklahoma. He also gets a chance to get out on the courts and play basketball with his friends. He's currently at an intermediate level in speaking Mandarin Chinese. He's a musician. There's not too much that this young man can't do. He's been playing the piano and the drums, as well as being a part of his father and mother's ministry in Oklahoma, which is called Bridge Builders Worship Center. So between ping pong, basketball, reading, lifting weights, and just enjoying life, Mr. Darius Pettis has something to bring to this table, this conversation. I'm elated to see and hear from him as he tells us that big dreams take small strides. Short strides. I'm interested. So let me go ahead and bring him in. Get in this chat. Welcome him. Welcome him. Hey, Darius, how you doing, Mr. Pettis?
I'm doing good. That made me feel kind of, good. All the compliments, but it's all right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Truth. It's the truth.
Glad to be here.
We're honored to have you here at Be Healed Web Show. I'm looking forward to hearing from you on tonight. You said that you're, in your bio, you mentioned that you're a podcast producer for Cultural Student Podcasts.
Oh, yeah. So basically, I just started, this weekend. I mean, not this weekend, probably a couple weeks ago. I've been planning for like months, getting everything set up. But I feel like it's a really helpful, podcast, not just for students, but like for everybody, because I feel like you always have something to learn, and our podcast is just about always learning and growing as a person, about like, for example, culture, which is like kind of the main topic is, and it's like a broad topic because, culture isn't just like, the Black community. It's about like all the different communities around the world and, help you understand because, the more communities you understand and the more, knowledge you build up, just the better person you can become, and the more understanding person you can become. Yes. So that's what I hope y'all like, check out the podcast, enjoy it. So
Absolutely, absolutely. We're going to share that information so they can check out that cultural podcast over on YouTube as well. So Darius, tell some folks why culture means so much to you growing up in Oklahoma.
Mm. Okay, I think culture has a lot. Like it means so much to me because just like from like the many places I grew up from, Oklahoma City, like we grew up kind of in the hood to like upstanding different areas. We went back and forth, and I've seen a lot of different perspectives from different people from like many different cultures, and I understand that nobody's like a lot of people aren't bad people, but people
Mm,
just misunderstand each other. So it's a
yes.
lot of different things that if you understand different cultures and perspectives, then it could help you as a person. So that's why I feel like it touches me personally. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
I definitely agree with that wholeheartedly. It goes back, it hits on that premises of communication, learning
right,
how to talk
yeah,
with someone else and interact. So you have more of an understanding and then also
mhm.
empathizing, being
Exactly,
compassionate.
empathy, right, exactly.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
love that. I love that. So you got a chance to watch a couple of episodes, so you know where
Yeah,
how
yeah,
the
it's really
flow
good.
goes. But
Mhm.
we've been dealing with this crazy times for the past 2 years.
Mhm.
How have you been impacted? How has your life? You're 19,
Yeah.
so you are a year past grown, right? You are,
Mhm.
you kind of like a veteran to this grownness. You voted in two different elections now. You've been able to
Oh
experience
yeah,
some things. So, what has been your experience from childhood to now, especially with these past two
yeah.
years?
Oh wow. I feel like these past 2 years been like the biggest years in my life, because I'm kind of trying to transition in, from high school to college and really, growing as a person. And then Corona stacked on top. It just really, it has a bunch of ups and downs, just, skyrocketing from, just, me not going to school in high school or me, being social distance and different things. And I got to learn how to, grow as a person, do my own thing. So it's really, I feel like I took it in a way, like everything and helped it push me forward. And, all the challenges, I feel like it helped me like grow as a person overall. So honestly, I know I take, the struggle and then learn from it and grow from it. So it's a, for me, it's been good so far. So yeah.
That's good. I mean, I'm grateful that you're saying that you're learning from it. Give us a few things that I would say, if you can say your top three things that you've learned
Right.
in these past 2 years about
Okay.
yourself, what were those?
Okay, so I feel like recently I actually, I had like a toothache, so my wisdom teeth came in and whatever, and I had a cavity stacked on top of that recently,
Ooh,
so I
okay.
was in pain, tears, crying, and that pain just made me like, I was thinking back, I was like, I kept bringing this up for some reason. I was like 500 years before now, we wouldn't have antibiotics, so
Right.
I wouldn't have survived it because it would have been that bad. People like die from splinters, and I realized that to become like I became more grateful, but at the same
Mhm.
time, I understood like that pain ended up just helping me grow, like from like running on the track to like just different things, knowing that there's like it could be worse pain, and you're gonna survive. So you just got to go through it. So just the gratefulness on top of growing as a person. So I like to take pain and just grow from it. That's one thing, I guess. So let me think of a few things. I know recently, like when I first started learning, I guess Chinese. One
Mhm.
thing that really helped me was like, I was just, I was kind of like and stuck in a like stagnant place in high school. I kind of like blamed my stagnant because I had all these big dreams, but I
Mhm.
wasn't doing nothing with it. I was just
Mm.
like, oh, I was just trying to rush, and like, man, everybody trying to get that feeling that I'm blaming all my struggles on other people, like they're holding me back.
Right.
And I kind of, I realized I didn't have like a job, I couldn't drive as a senior. I still can't drive, but I don't let that stuff hold me back. But just all these things stacked on top. I wanted to blame other people. But when I started learning like Chinese and just looking at different things, I realized that even in like your tight circumstances, your mind can be expanded always, and you can always be growing as a person, even in tight situations. And your situation, you shouldn't blame other people, because even in that situation, you can always strive to be a better you. So that's the second thing I learned, not to blame things on other people, and to, do what I can do, focus on what I can do now, you know. Then the third thing I guess I can bring up is probably like what I brought up, big dreams, small strides. Because really, I've always, I'm the type person that like to get things done fast, rush. Like, I want to get there, and I feel like that's gonna get you stressed, unnecessary stress. I'm talking to the young people who are out here like me, thinking, oh, I got big dreams, but you're looking at all these people, TikTokers, all these people out there, and you're like, man, these people are so far up there. Compare yourself to other people, and they had advantageous situations,
Mhm.
starting points. They're more experienced, but you got to take your own pace. You got to focus on what you're passionate about, and then do your own calculations in your mind on how to reach your goals. But you got to stay at a consistent pace. Don't overstretch yourself. Make sure you have fun doing it. You got to enjoy the hard work, enjoy the grind, or it's not going to be worth it. You can't enjoy. You can't like chase like materialistic things in the grind, because it won't make you happy. But if you chase, things that you enjoy and you're passionate about, then it'll just make it, it'll make it that much easier for you. So that's the third thing. But yeah,
Let's, so you done said a lot. You done
I
said,
know. All
you
right.
know, no. When I said a lot, you meaty,
Right.
it's wealth in your words.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first thing you said was about gratitude, acknowledging that, half of a century, of a millennium ago, right?
Right.
Uh, just a few centuries prior, we didn't have the technology, the
Mm-hmm.
medications, the advancements, and so it helps us to be grateful. So while we're whining and crying and frustrated with our first world problems, understanding like, wait, but I can get better. I have the tools, the resources, and availability to get better. So you talk about gratefulness. You then hit on regarding your situation is yours. You can't blame nobody. It made me think of a very interesting man that you and I both knew personally, wise man in his own right, when he would say, "Nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream." We have to make sure, if we're going to set these goals for ourselves, that we're make uh, working that goal, that we're being intentional and making action behind it. And then the last thing you said, you were making sure that enjoy that hard thing, enjoy the struggle, enjoy the journey. We were talking to some folks some months ago. Enjoy the process, because at the end of the day, it's something that you can reflect and say that you've done it. You encourage me just in this, because there's some things that I'm wrestling with, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, but my little cousin just said, do
Right.
this, do that. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
No problem.
So, even Sharon saying that's great advice. Her daughter recently graduated early, and she told her not to worry about keeping up with others. You get there in your own time. Sharon, that is
Exactly.
so true. We cannot focus in on anybody else's race. Darius, you mentioned that about not comparing yourself to
Mm-hmm.
someone else.
Yeah.
What tell us a little bit more your experience on when you had to talk to yourself about not comparing.
Okay. So I really, I'm struggling with that even now, but I really noticed that when you compare yourself to other people, it doesn't, it really distracts you from what you're focused on. So at the end of the day, really focusing on your life plan, like even if it takes, so like for example, you're in college, you're a student doing like a degree, but in this degree, you're calculating, I'm not going to be making money now,
Right.
but in the now, because you got to go through all this college. But other people out here, they didn't go to college or doing their other things. They're working a job, they're grinding, they're making money, you know, throwing around, got the nice stuff, and
Making
you
it
think
rain.
you think they're doing good, but at the end of the day, you got to focus on like what you love to do, and know that in the end, if you keep focusing, you're gonna like reap the rewards, you know. So actually, let me see if I can pull up this scripture that I got ready. Let's see what it says.
Mhm.
I think it's Psalms 90:12. Okay.
Come on.
So teach us to number our days
Yes.
that we get a heart of wisdom. So
Yes.
basically, this is going into, you gotta look at your, calculate the time you spend on certain things,
Mhm.
and it'll lead to like wisdom. You gotta search for wisdom at the same time, instead of searching for materialistic, like what I can have. That's not gonna reap the benefit at the end. These are short term things, short term cash. It's not gonna last pretty long, and it's the happiness is definitely not gonna last. So
Right.
at the end of the day, you gotta search for wisdom, search for God, search for finding God in things, in the stuff, whatever you're passionate, whatever you enjoy, and that'll lead to it. Okay.
I love that. First of all, this is where you get to talk, honey. I
Okay.
get to listen. Everybody else get to listen and comment. It's huge what you're saying, because you're speaking from a standpoint of being 19,
Hmm.
and you're aware of what's going on in social media. You see what your peers are dealing with and challenged with, or
Yeah.
even some of your family members, or you definitely have an understanding. And you quoted one of my favorite verses in Psalms, because we need to remember, for us to be cognizant of the time that we have here. Are we producing good fruit with the time he's given us, and the tools and the resources, and being very intentional and deliberate in all our ways. And so I love that. You definitely are more wise beyond your years. Absolutely. I definitely agree with that statement, because you're aware, and that awareness is going to take you, oh gosh, so far, because you got it now. There's some grown folks in the media that don't have that.
Yeah.
You've seen it. I'm not gonna call their names, Kanye. But anywho, so, you're what do you study in college?
Oh, I study international business, so it's
Okay.
like, yeah, I'm not too sure what career that's going to lead to, but
Hmm.
we'll see how it goes. I'll just focus on what I can do now, try to figure that out. But I'm sure it
Okay.
has a lot of opportunities. So
Yeah, I mean, international business. I mean, especially if you're speaking Mandarin, I mean, you could literally be in multiple venues. You can study law, you can do a concentration in international law, you can look at being one of the not assembly, but what are they called? Embassy representatives, or attaches for the United States. I mean, there's so many things that you can do in that, or even advisory council to other businesses
right,
that want to do things overseas. Because let's be honest, China is where a lot of the production
that's so
happens.
true. Yeah,
Everything that we probably have on, even in this room,
yeah,
comes,
that's true.
right, has
Right,
that label there. So I think that's
true.
awesome. I'm so elated with that. So let's kind of talk about a few things.
Okay.
What has been one of your greatest successes of your life? Something that
Okay.
you're proud about.
Successes.
Mm.
Honestly, I really, I don't feel. I feel like I got so much to do. Like, there's so many goals. It's hard to think of like a success I've had, because I'm always growing, trying to push forward. But maybe it's just me realizing like that I have to learn. I guess
Mm.
just me knowing that you can't get things in an instant. This is basically kind of what I'm bouncing off of. But
Mhm.
just the instant thing that you want, it's not gonna come quick. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts. So yeah,
You know, two things. Instant gratification, absolutely. It's nothing of quality happens instantly, right? In certain endeavors. But then there's other portion where you can say, well, not necessarily, because when we
that's
look
true.
at we
Yeah.
look in the scriptures, there were many people that were
Oh
healed
yeah.
instantly, right?
That's true.
And so we have to understand that there's a time and a season for
Mm,
everything, right?
yeah.
So
This
there
takes
might be
consistency,
exactly,
consistency in your
exactly.
belief. Like it can happen quick. For some people, it happens quick.
Yeah,
For some people, it takes a longer time. So it just, it's just staying faithful in what you're doing, but
exactly.
also, yeah, but also you're staying consistent. So this is
Yes.
so many factors stacking on top of each other that you gotta pay attention to and try to, focus in and learn them, and learn from other people's like mistakes. You got to notice what your friends are doing and see how that turned out for them. What your
Mm,
family members are doing, and see how it turned out. Like talk to people around you and learn from their mistakes so you can like jump ahead, on the scale. At the
yeah,
end of the day, it can go slow, but it don't have to go that slow. It don't
right.
have to go really slow. If you want it fast, it's not going to go too fast, but you got to learn from, different people. And
Yeah.
also just, keep talking to people, growing, ask questions, and,
Hmm.
get people's opinions on your flaws. Cause
Yeah.
that's another like real tip. Cause I've noticed that even like, I want to grow like my public speaking skills, for example. And I say things like right. And then I always like, make small mistakes that like ask a question in a statement or something like this. And I notice I gotta focus in on these things. Ask people questions on what they think I do wrong.
Hmm.
Like on my podcast, I ask so many people like, what do they think I can fix in these certain areas? You can't do anything by yourself. Like the saying "self-made" is like false.
Not
It's
real.
non-existent. You always got to lean in on other people and try to grow in and hold on to people that are holding on to you and that are pushing you. So yeah.
Yeah. I hear you say so much with that. I can hear my dad say there's taught sense and bought sense, right? Some things you don't have to pay the cost for if you just
Exactly that.
watch. I hear my dad also saying if you watch the game, you know the score.
Mm,
You don't have to
mm,
always, be the one just trailblazing and hitting your head against the wall, which some people, that's their method. But we have individuals in our life, whether indirectly or indirectly, that we can see and say, "Ooh, that didn't work. Let me try something different." Or maybe they just didn't execute it properly. Let me try a
yeah.
different execution point. And to your point about not being self-made, I
Mm,
think that is probably um, a very misnomer that goes around about being self-made.
right.
'Cause
Yeah.
like you said, we are all dependent on someone or somebody at some point. But I always think about that, we love the Lord, but going back to that
Right.
scripture, it's He that has made us and
Right.
not we ourselves.
Mm,
We have
so
to
true.
remember the order of operations, just like we did in math. We got to remember the order of operations. It's Him, so all of it belongs to Him, right? We
Right.
are His. So whatever we got is still His. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. So
whatever we
true.
do, we got to go, hey, to God be the glory. Thank you. Because it's not me that did this, it's Him
Mm,
who has
so
sustained and
true.
protected
So
and
true.
provided. That's awesome. So you are number two of four children.
Yeah. Hmm.
Do you find yourself coaching up or coaching down more when it comes down to your family
I mean,
dynamic?
I don't want to say anything, but I feel like I coach up a lot because I like to try to preach to my older brother and talk to him. But at the end of the day, like I respect my older brother so much, and my siblings really I don't talk down either because my siblings won't listen to me either way. So I can't really help them. I'm the middle child. No matter how much I want to be, but I feel like we just love each other so much, and I really like recently, because we've been having so much debates around the house as we're getting older. I
Mhm.
debate with my little sister, my brother, and we just go full out, and it's like it's fun. So you know, I think we're just growing with each other, even though we don't agree. We know our arguments do not last long. You feel me? We still love each other so
Good.
much, down and about. No matter if we argue all night for like 2 hours straight, the
Mhm.
next day we're laughing. Showing each other videos, laughing. So it's just
Yeah,
good time. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So many are encouraged by what you're sharing with us tonight. I mean, it's awesome. You know, um, I want to kind of go into some rapid fire with you.
Okay.
This is the hot topic round. I'm just going to say a word. You have a
Oh,
minute and a
ooh.
half, right? And just to expound on, just quick to the point. Okay.
Go.
And if you want to say pass, you can always have the option to hit pass, and
Okay.
then I'll come back to it as we wrap up. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's start with saving money.
Saving money. Pass. Now I'm playing. Anyway, so oh yeah, I love to save money. No, but I don't. I think there's a time and a place to save money. At the end of the day, if you're saving money for basically things, if you don't have a goal in mind, and you have so many things that you want to buy, as long as it's fueling your passions or fueling you in a positive way, then you can go spend. If it's things that you actually don't need, I prefer you to save that money and focus in on growing. Like I'm saving money right now to buy like a house. Pretty sure this summer I plan on buying a house. Getting into real estate or whatever. But I made sure I'm starting my podcast. I made sure I bought my phone, even though I know I'm trying to save money. So you got to know when the time and the place to spend your money. Like clothes, you can spend money on clothes, but let's be reasonable.
Yeah.
Like I go shopping TJ Maxx, Ross. I don't go hardcore. On buying certain things. So it just kind of you can save. I don't know. Well, yeah,
Okay. I love that. I love that. College life.
college life. Ooh, I love. I feel like there's also a time and place for college.
Mm.
Because college isn't for everybody. Me personally, I wouldn't have went to college, if I didn't have like my scholarships or anything. Because I knew I could fall back on like real estate or something. But I feel like now that I'm in college, most people should like at least study something like maybe one class in college because you want to always consistently learn as you're growing, and then you can build on different skills. So college is always a good idea, but you got to also calculate, am I going to be able to pay off this debt from what I'm learning? You feel me?
Mhm.
So you got to calculate the cash ratio and what you're getting out of it, the content that you're learning. So it's really focused on what you think is good for you when it comes to college or going to college, different things.
Love that. All right. Let's deal with insecurities.
Insecurities. Yeah, those get a lot of people. I talk to, and I know a lot of like my friends. I know some family members that are like very insecure and like scared. I feel like they're afraid to do what they want to do and they're focused on what people would think about them and just scared of like other people's opinions and like scared to disappoint their family members too, like scared to like overcome this. Like if your family members don't want you to go here but you feel like it'll be good for you, at the end of the day, like my parents do that to me, but at the end of the day, if you really want it, you don't blame them, because they love you and they're doing what they think is best for you, but you should do what you think is best for you, as long as it's calculated, you got to be mindful, but
Yeah.
do what you think is best for you. And yeah, I
I
think
like
that's
that.
the question. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
All right.
Faith. Faith over
Faith.
fear, actually. Faith over
Faith
fear.
over fear. Oh yeah. Like I just said, faith over fear. You always fear likes to creep in on everything. Like imagine if you realize, I heard this story from somebody, so I'm just repeating, but imagine if you realize that you're gonna, go skydiving the next day, So the whole time you realize, you hyping up, like, okay, we're going skydiving. But then you realize that you're nervous, you're nervous throughout the whole day. You can't sleep the whole night because you're like, okay, we're going skydiving, You're just scared, and it's always on your mind. But at the end of the day, once you get up there, you're still scared, but you're gonna do it either way. So
Right.
just know that when the time comes, you shouldn't be afraid up until the point because at the end of the day, you know, you know what you're gonna do. So you shouldn't let fear stop you.
That's
So you
good.
should just go ahead and overcome the fear. Me at track meets, I'm probably nowadays never actually afraid on the track. To be honest, I'm usually calm at track meets because I'm not afraid because I know I'm not gonna die from it, you know.
Right.
I know I'm gonna survive. And I just want to do my best, and I don't let fear actually hold on to me too much. I'm really on what I want to do. So yeah, faith over fear. Just be faithful in that. So yeah.
That's good. What about relationships?
Relationships. Oh, yeah, I like this topic. So definitely on your relationship, you got to be, very careful. I kind of tipped in a little bit on relationships, but you got to be careful who you spend your time around, Like, I got so many friends that they'll be like, hey, I tell them I got work that day, but they try to nudge me and be like, okay, let's hang out a little bit more. Let's do this and this. You can call in, be late, but these are the friends that like you really love to enjoy, but you don't have to always spend your time
Mhm.
around these people. 24/7. If they're focused on them and themselves, you should hang around people that are pushing helpful, that want to see you grow as a person and want to see you improve. So if you hang around people that they don't necessarily have to share the same beliefs as you, but they just share the same, basically spirit as you. They gotta have a spirit to grow. And if y'all are growing with each other, never try to push somebody down. You gotta be the person that grows with people too. So try to grow with people. That'll make you, shoot up. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Love that. Mental health.
Mental health. Oh, I think that's very important in a person, mental health, because you gotta be you shouldn't be afraid to, you know, check on, like, you shouldn't be afraid to worry about your mental health. Because I know so many people that are like, you like, people bring up, like, I guess counseling, or like, they're like, counseling, black community, they don't like counseling, even if it's like your counselor's a pastor. Like, they still, people don't like counseling. I feel like counseling is like very important no matter who you are. I feel like every single person needs counseling just to help them like improve, or like help them understand themselves on a deeper level.
Yeah.
It'll definitely improve you. Like, just watching YouTube videos for some people won't cut it. But other people. So you gotta focus in. But yeah,
Yes, yes, yes. That's good. That's good. Okay, last one. Well, we got actually one more outside of this. So the second to last one. Social media.
social media. Yeah, it can be. Whoa, social media can be very good, but I feel like it can also be very bad. Because I actually, for like a year maybe, I just like re-downloaded Instagram, re-downloaded TikTok just because of my podcast. Reason I've never, like, I haven't had TikTok or Instagram for like years, and it's helped me really focus on myself, because
Mm.
there's so many small distractions from like TikTok, YouTube, just all around social media, that if you're not careful, it can suck you in, and you can, be distracted, believe things that, you shouldn't be believing. But like, you see certain images of people, like their perfect life or whatever,
Mhm.
and you know, you feel like, oh, my life is sucky. But as soon as their camera cuts off, I heard this the other day. As soon as their camera cuts off, you know, they're back to their normal life. They're
Right.
just like you. They could be worse, they could be better, you don't know. But I feel like, as a spiritual person,
Mhm.
learning the Bible, different things, you should be confident enough to say to anybody, I believe my life is more fulfilling and happier than you, because my life is, faith focused, and I'm grinding, and I'm having fun, and I just enjoy it every day. Even in my sadness, there's joy
Yeah.
inside of my broken heart. So I
Mhm.
feel like you focus, you're not paying attention to the different factors distracting you on social media. But you can use social media to, to your advantage, to help others, do businesses, or like learn things to help you grow. Like, listen to, I got the Bible app. You can listen to different podcast apps that'll really help you grow. I only learn Chinese like on my phone, and I use like different apps and different things. So you got to learn, how to balance from use the good things on social media. It's a
I
lot.
love that. Love that. Perfect. Perfect. Last but certainly not least, Super Bowl. Who you got?
Super Bowl.
Rams or the
Uh,
Bengals?
I know, yeah, my friend loves like football. He talks about it on the podcast a little bit. I'm not too into it, but definitely I know people talk about the Rams a lot, so I'm gonna lean in towards the Rams, and I'm just listen to my friend, see what he, you know, follow him and see what he thinks about it so much. So we'll see, we'll see.
Absolutely, absolutely. I appreciate this. Darius, there's so many things that you've said tonight, especially with as we were going through the hot topic, but even overall, from the moment you came on here, helping us to understand that life is full of various twists, turns, and ups and downs, but the gratitude has to always remain solid. You've helped us to understand the importance of being selective of what we allow in and around us, helping those that might feel that, I have to go the collegiate route, not necessarily. There's life outside of college,
Mhm.
but at least be a continual, perpetual student of something that you're growing and you're evolving and making better. You also mentioned the importance of being a faith filled, a faithful individual that's very in tune spiritually, having that spiritual aptitude. So you can tune in and be like, where do I need to go? What do I need to do?
Right.
And you drop the scripture out of Psalms 90 and 12 for us to always remember to number our days. Lord, help us to be mindful of the time that you've been so gracious to give us. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think you have been profound and amazing. Where can folks find you if they want to tune in and hear Mr. Darius Pettis more
Okay.
often?
Yeah, we definitely film podcasts every Thursday, and we really talk about a lot of these topics. So you'll definitely hear different perspectives from young people and how we think. But it's always like we have an atmosphere where we're always going to learn. We bring in on the podcast we bring in professors, different people, and we can be students one day, just listening and learning with the professor, or we could be talking about our opinions on different topics like gun control, different things, so we can like learn from different people. We bring in different people and we can learn from their perspectives on how they feel about the topic. So if y'all want to check that out, it's on Cultural Student Podcast, which is on TikTok and it's on YouTube, and you can find it there. We plan on making an Instagram account too, so yeah, it'll be fun, and I think y'all will enjoy it. So hopefully y'all can check us out on that. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Definitely, definitely. We will definitely do that. I know I'll go over there and subscribe and check you out since you mentioned. So it's Cultural Student Podcast, even on TikTok. So all one word,
yeah,
Cultural
all
Student
one
Podcast.
word. Yeah,
Awesome, awesome. Darius, you have been nothing short of amazing. Looking through these comments have been blaring. Sharon, my Sora, she says, "Thank you, young man. You have a bright future ahead of yourself," and I definitely can co-sign that. I'm honored to hear you not only you speak and share from your heart, but the wisdom that's been downloaded into you, as well as you knowing that you don't know it all, but you're still learning. But what the little that you do have, you sharing, right? And that's one thing that I think is important for us to always understand. We have not arrived, we have not achieved, but what we do have, we should give freely. And so I'm grateful for that on tonight. So I've been doing this on this segment for you all, for you, the younger generation, to close us out. So I'm going to pause for a moment and allow you to close out in however you would maybe direct, if you want to have a message directed towards my generation and older, if you have a message for them, or as well as the generation, your generation and below, what may be a message for them that you would like to share. You have this time.
okay. Well, since the topic is big dreams take short strides, I want to like leave y'all with um the word like patience, because you really need to, you know, there's so many like wild, crazy stuff going on in the world, corona, different things. And like life is short, and you want to, rush things if you realize life is short and different things. But it's really about, how you impact others, and the time it takes to like understand others on a small level and a large level. You gotta really take the time to like listen to people. That's
Mm.
one thing I have a small problem with is I don't really listen, as much as I should. So you gotta learn how to really dig in and understand, because there's always like trouble under the water. People got so much stuff going on that they don't want to show surfacely, or they don't show surfacely. And I feel like considerance and patience is really an important thing. So I guess I'll try to end this off with a prayer, and so we can head off. Father God, thank you for today. Thank you for everyone who's tuning in and listening to this web show. I hope everyone takes something from it. I try to give everything to the best of my ability. I hope somebody learns, grows as a person, and then, just take something out of this that is positive on their life. And I pray that everyone gets to know you, God, and see you and understand your thoughts, and try to understand you so they can improve themselves. I pray everyone has a blessed day. They stay safe. Corona, I pray that Corona is not taking control of other people's lives, but they're overcoming it and growing. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, thank you all for tuning in with us on tonight. It's been another phenomenal experience talking with the young adults, the young people. We started with ages 12 all the way up now to 19. Again, the caveat is anyone within that, from that age group to no more than say 25. If you know someone that would like to share, and lend their voice so they know that they have a place, be sure to reach out to us at the Be Healed Web Show. And the link information is posted, behealedwebshow@gmail.com, or go right to the website at behealedwebshow.com, and we'll be happy to work with you and hit the contact us. So again, Darius, thank you so much, young man, young godly man. I'm so proud to not only know you, but also to call you my cousin, my family. I'm grateful for you. And so continue to grow and glow in God. Continue to allow his favor to rest upon you and surround you like a shield. I'm excited to see the next steps, the next chapters for you, because greatness is on your life. So, loves and hugs to your family. Loves and hugs to all of your friends that you are working with this podcast, and we'll be tuning in. Until next time, if the Lord allows us to be together, same time, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Facebook Live and YouTube. This is the Be Healed Web Show. I've been your host, Camille R. Perry, and I'm grateful to have you all tuning in. Till next time, we'll see you. Be blessed.